News of the Russia-Ukraine war at a glance. The reorganization of the Russian army in Ukraine is a sign of a major attack, and the drama is fast approaching the end of the war. Imran Khan, the politician who is in favor of the Moscow proposal, is changing his strategy. Gassi touches the United States in an inch hole during foreign conspiracy allegations. Security forces cordoned off the Sri Lankan president's residence amid anti-government protests. At least 45 in the collision. Someone saw the names. This time the details are not leaving Ukraine but are being reorganized. He said that the general secretaries of the military alliance are deploying troops on the battlefield just like that. Russia is planning to launch a major offensive by increasing its logistics and military equipment. It is not believable because even though the announcement of reduction of military activities in the vicinity of Kis is happening, according to him, there has been no change in the Russian military operation. On the contrary, despite talks, there has been no positive response from Russia to a ceasefire. The country is deploying new troops and even troops from Georgia. And the information brought by the military equipment matched the political solution to the war according to a somewhat difficult plan. Military analysts believe that Moscow is changing the strategy of the war that has failed to manage. Says the puppet government is still the third target eastern city to show you the desired success thanks. There is the port city of Mary, which has been invading the world. However, this does not mean that losing the war is a change of strategy in the hope of achieving the desired results. Putin now has plans to split this friend into two, according to bank experts. So now Moscow's main target is the eastern city of Donbad, although Russia claims 95% of the city is now theirs. Occupied grounds weekly to see which bus from Pabna city has a fever in the month of Moya and months. This is one of the most important steps for Russia to establish a direct communication bridge. The country's representatives held a meeting in Moscow on Tuesday, mediated by the country's money shops. Accepting the condition of remaining neutral, the military activity will be discussed today, removing it from Saturday. Dismissed January 2, was an army officer who was a member of the 9th Class Vocational Security Service. He has acted on behalf of Russia, in a statement he made during a regular speech. The Ukrainian president said the two officials had mistakenly identified their homeland. He also warned for the first time that the traitors would be identified and punished in stages. Russia launched an attack on an oil depot in the city on Friday night. The country's regional governor complained to the Post that two helicopters had crashed in Ukraine's northern border town. The bomber struck shortly after noon in front of a U.S. military base. The truck is expected to catch fire and at least 10 people were injured. The rest have been accused of such attacks will definitely hamper future peace talks. U.S. President Joe Biden has again sent various military equipment to Ukraine, including weapons. These are part of an approved $800 million aid project. The equipment was sent to Chaplin Ontic, a destructive missile, to be observed on Thursday. A female singer of Bulletproof Jacket will be provided at this military aid practice. The country has to pay a price for importing helicopter arms, ammunition, and natural gas. I have always wanted to see this decision being implemented from the post of president. According to the new announcement, they will have to open their first bank account and deposit it among foreigners there. Banks and EMU will be used to pay for gas after conversion to Google. No one will pay. If he does, he will be considered a defaulter. Allies will stay out of this decision every day, said Yu. Kingo Khan. Russia has been cornered by US and Western sanctions since the start of the military operation. The United States has cut off oil and gas imports from Putin following a new announcement by Putin. France is considering trading natural gas to boost trade, he said. The condition up front is clear and transparent if you want to buy gas from Russia in Rose bank account. If they fail to meet this condition, their failure will be met with gas from those countries. The supply line will take effect on April 1. the decision is its own to address the energy crisis. U.S. President Joe Biden has approved the approval of 1 million barrels of oil per day. He informed the result of the National Stadium. The United States has since cut off energy imports from the country, which has pushed up energy. Oil prices fell to $139 a barrel on the stock market. Fuel oil then rose to 60 million from its respective surface reserves, including the United States, in February. Beryl announced the release of oil, which helped stabilize the market. Auto rice mills approved 1 million barrels of oil per day for the first time in U.S. history. The move is expected to keep the children in line for oil extraction and supply by the end of the year. Naturally, the United States is ready for an emergency. I will tell the countries, you too. Mir Jafar called the politicians who were in favor of the proposal a student status of Pakistan. In a lengthy speech, Prime Minister Imran Khan again accused the motion of no confidence in removing him. He spoke in support of the US alliance, but said that maintaining some independence was not the answer. He also said that he will not step down from power till now. Pak PM Imran Khan never wielded his sword in no confidence vote on Sunday. Opposition groups called for the beleaguered PM to resign on Thursday. Looking at him, he said that the motion of no confidence to remove him was basically a conspiracy of foreign countries so that Mir Jafar, like his political colleague, he joined hands and handed us over to them. He is conspiring with politicians against Pakistan who are colluding with foreign powers. They want to bring about a change of power so that your future generations will never forget you. I'm sorry, I uttered the result at that time. An independent country sent a warning that Imran Khan was in power with them. Pakistan's relations will be ruined. Several days ago, many people received a letter from the United States. The United States removed me from power by a vote of no confidence in that letter from a foreign power. Threats to overthrow the US mission in Islamabad have been made for a no confidence vote. Acting Deputy PM summons Pakistan to use non-diplomatic etiquette in letter. Islamabad's Prem Rasika Hassan Jamuna News Pakistan's Prime Minister has strongly protested against the move. The country's information minister has called for a conspiracy to assassinate Imran Khan. This information was given on the basis of the information of the companies and soon after the security of Imran Khan. However, the Pakistani military or the Prime Minister's office did not comment on the allegations. Nothing has been officially announced recently. The country has been accused by Imran Khan's party. A curfew has been lifted in Lanka following a plot to assassinate him for refusing to sell. In the face of the economic crisis, anti-government protests erupted on Thursday at the president's residence. Surrounded and set fire to a very hot Kandra police clash. Earlier, 45 people had announced to keep 13 days, the government was forced to extinguish the lamp-post Indian economy. Sri Lankans crushed under the pressure of the crisis turned out to be frozen on Thursday by President Gotabaya. The Sri Lankans surrounded Rajapaksa's residence in the evening to demand his resignation. The police was forced to issue curfew at one stage, but withdrawn. I can't use the money properly even though the cylinder is empty. This is the darkest chapter in the history of gas. Blackout extended from 7 to 13 hours due to 40% power outage in Sri Lanka. When the power is cut off, the government is forced to turn on the street lights and dye hard fuel. Crisis 16-17 hours at home with the scorching heat of mosquitoes in the place. How to spend a night. If the leader could be snatched away, all the problems would be solved. There was a time when I had to stand in line for 2 days for a cylinder of gas and electricity. Cannot be imported life-saving drugs. Devaluation, currency prices rise again. Up to 30% but will have to repay the loan of about 700 million Jamuna News needs after taking power. Since the beginning of the acute food crisis in Afghanistan, there has been no Western aid to Afghanistan and no Taliban government. Many people are spending their days eating grass leaves after any initiative failed. In the meanwhile, the crisis of Ramadan is getting worse. Concerns about how the locals will spend the month of fasting are growing. Layla spends her days eating boiled grass leaves with a plastic bottle. How to spend the month of Ramadan in such a difficult reality that you can't eat with the income you have. Kul Kinara doesn't think that these Afghan women will ever get 30 Afghani again. I don't know how to survive with 2 children in Ramadan. The International Labour Organization, ILO, says Afghanistan is facing the worst economic crisis since the Taliban took power. More than 500,000 people have lost their jobs since August, with 47% of Afghans living on less than $1. There is an acute food crisis. How come the Taliban administration does not have any special initiative centering on the month of Ramadan? There is no money in the hands of the buyers and sellers who are worried that Shankar will be handled. I don't know why I used to be in so much pain during Ramadan, but now I have nothing to do with it. Somehow I used to run my stomach, but this time I have no work in hand. I don't know how to handle the situation then. US West Bengal government lifts ban, says Mamta Banerjee. The night curfew has been lifted, but most of the city's restrictions remain in place. Obligations to maintain physical distance and adhere to hygiene rules. As before, the epidemic is declining at a significant rate. The West Bengal government took this decision to relax the restrictions, but advised everyone to be careful. According to experts, the total death toll of corona in the state so far is over 21,000 and 2 million. The presence of the virus was detected in the bodies of more people through music on Thursday. Dubai Expo 2013 sparked the city as 192 starved and the investment was over 700 million. Though the war was supposed to be held in Dubai starting in so far, 26 Saudi nationals have been prosecuted for trying to cover up the number of human rights groups. An attempt is being made to take the case from Turkey to a Saudi Arabian court. Work. A Turkish court has asked the court to stay the trial of Jamal Khashoggi's murder case. The prosecutor in the case, however, sought approval for the transfer from Turkey to Saudi Arabia. The matter has been adjourned till the court hearing. Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi has been a vocal critic of the Saudi royal family in 3 cases. Jamal Khashoggi has called for an end to the killing of at least 1 person who fell into a bus ditch in Brazil. At least 20 people were seriously injured in a tragic accident in Punjab province at midnight on Thursday. The bus was carrying 30 passengers, according to authorities at Brazil's largest paper factory club. The factory was watching and the driver lost control in the middle due to heavy rain and fell into a deep ditch. The condition of several of the injured is critical after 7 people died on the spot and were taken to hospital. Brazil's cabinet resigns immediately after cabinet ministers resigned on Thursday. High-ranking officials have resigned to help with the upcoming national election campaign. They will hold a cabinet meeting on behalf of the various Arjuna presidents of the government till October. Analysts believe that this rare step will play an important role in the upcoming elections. The president has been widely criticized across the country for failing to tackle the epidemic and economic development. The campaign of the important leaders of the party came